Okie dokie.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back again. I am going to start this off a little bit different than what I did before, and how I am going to do that is I am going to go over a couple of things that I wanted to bring up before, and I kind of went over it, but it's really important and it really needs to be discussed a little bit better than what it was, in my opinion. So I am going to first go over the filing system that I discussed, about how to set up a filing system for my streams and things of that nature. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, like I said, you can do this any way that you want to.
What game
And,
is this
I
that you're editing?
know that a lot of people have a lot of different approaches. This isn't in a game right now. I'm going through what I just explained to you about the editing or setting up the filing system. Putting files in your video
So that's what you're
folders.
doing at the top?
Yeah, that's what that is. That's not a game.
Oh,
That's a background image. So give it a second. It'll take a little bit, and then it'll start showing you on my computer what I'm talking about.
okay. Let me turn my phone sideways so it's better view.
But that's all that is. That's just a background.
I thought that was something different.
Nah, no. Let me go on really quick. So I can uh, get on through this. Right now in the video, I'm just explaining what I just explained to you. So, all right. But this is basically what works with me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So the reason why I do it like this is because with these files, okay, the longer or the more that you add to the files, the bigger they get and the bulkier it gets. And eventually, you got so much information on those files that it just ends up crashing on you, and it'll crash repeatedly on you over and over again. So what I did is I broke down my Blender files into segments, and I wanted to go over that with you so that you guys could kind of get an understanding of what I'm talking about. Now, in my document section, I set up a, a filing system, and I named it Blend Files. Now, that right there is where I start getting into it. The reason why I do this is in the video I explain that the these files are cool to use and everything, but the thing of it is they get bulky. All right, and the more information that you put on each file, Karma, the the more bulkier the file gets, until eventually it'll crash every time you try to start it up.
Well, that's why you have to keep it separate, or
That's what
at
I'm
least
saying.
organized.
And
Hmm.
that's what I'm getting into, like how I set up my own filing system in the computer. You know what I mean? Because, like, especially with people who are given tutorials with Adobe Prime, they'll tell you that you can do this and do that on your files, but they don't want to bother to tell you that you have to have a pretty powerful computer to do that. And I found it was a lot easier to just separate what your projects are in your own filing system on your computer. So that's what I'm getting into now. Now these are my
Okay,
blend
cool.
files
And this
right
is
here,
Blender and OBS
and
combination, right?
this right now is just Blender 3.5.
So you
And
don't have to use OBS for this.
no, you don't. You can just go
Um,
straight into. I'm using Blender or OBS to actually do the stream right here.
I see that on the side, but that doesn't have anything to do with the editing.
No,
Okay.
only reason why I
Where
put
the
that
organization.
only reason why I put that on there is because you don't have Minds Plus, so I figured
Yeah,
it'd
and
be.
I'm about to get it, and I needed your help not to distract you from what we're doing today. So yesterday I attempted to do a live stream with the
Okay.
live spear, and like I don't know, I'm doing something wrong. So I gotta message you about it. I've been folding laundry from like a week ago, and I've been on, like I said, the basketball meeting and stuff like that. So
Actually, later on, I can go through it and we can record it, and I'll show you step by step how to set it up and everything. Sound good?
yes, sounds good.
All right. So let me start this up, and we'll get through this. All right. As as you can see, if you can see it, I'm sorry if you can't, but I have one for Gaming with Infamous, which is my gaming channel. One for Strange Stories, which is not for gaming, it's for like strange stories and UFOs and ghosts and stuff like that. Then I also have a folder for my templates, which I use at the beginning or ending, and sometimes in my Nuzlocke and stuff for retro games and things like that. Then I have a folder set up just for my textures and simulations. Now I also have a channel that I call the Praetorian, which is about current events, history, like ancient history, modern history, stuff like that. And I have the Storyteller, which is just basically telling stories and everything like that. Well, then you go on and you have what I'm basically going to have for this is it's just working with audio and video. Now, what I've done is I've gone in and I have set up blend files that go along with each and every one of these for my Gaming with Infamous. I have Asura's Wrath, Call of Duty, Control, and each of these settings are set up according to each of those games. So it has the intro in it, it has the video edit and how long I want each video to be, plus it has the changes that I want in uh, the scaling and stuff on the video, you know what I mean, and the resolution settings are all set up and ready to go according to that game. Now what I did is I set up a blend file for that, and if you see here, I've even got folders for just my retro games, my RPGs, Elder Scrolls, and Warhammer. In my Elder Scrolls, these are different kinds, like Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Lore, and Elder Scrolls Online. So I have each of those with their own separate blend files.
Are those everything that you've
Right.
done? So mine's is so little. I wish I could do it on my computer.
Yeah,
Are
no,
these all
see,
of the things?
it's all of them with like different aspects. Like I was going through showing everybody, like I have different channels that I do different topics on, and like in the Praetorian and all that I've got going on. Um, then right here is for working with audio and video, I believe it is what it was just saying. And no, this is my gaming, and I was showing like different games. I have a blend file for it. You know what I mean? Instead of adding every game that I had on one blend file, I break them down into each game, and I have the resolution already adjusted, the scaling for the video and stuff like that. And then if I also have like intros and outros that I made through the graphics thing too. So that's basically what it's explaining. Like each thing has its own video or blend file.
And you can you access this from different software? So this is what you upload directly to YouTube, or like
No,
when you, that's not.
no.
Okay.
Mm-mm. This right here is, you don't even need the internet to use these files. You just open them up, and this is where you do your basic editing. your video editing, or if you're into computer graphics, you can use the same file to do computer graphics, stuff like that. That's the symbol right there for the files.
Yeah, but then once you're done, do you use an embedded URL in order for you to be able to post your links? Because like that's what I was having issues with yesterday. Like, how do you get it to where after you edit it, you can put it on Minds? Like, what do you do for
First,
that?
first you have to render it. I'll get to the rendering in, I believe it's either this one or the next one. I start talking about how to render and stuff like that. But rendering is the final process, how you turn your stuff into video or photos. So, but I can get into that here in a little bit. But this is like just showing you the basics, like the best, or not the best way, but how I set up my files to take care of all the things I need to edit. You know what I mean? So I'm just starting out. Okay.
Uh huh.
Right. Let me let me go farther with it.
I wish I could go on. I need to go on the big screen because I'm on my phone.
It's fine. I'll have these posted in the chat, so you can go over it later on. I'll have this one and the video that we're watching right there with the audio and everything.
And then maybe you can help me with mine because I want to see if I can do another one on tomorrow, the
Okay.
11th at 11.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Now that is one example that I wanted to point out that I do personally. Now you don't have to do that. Hold on a minute.
They sound so cute.
Yeah, the if you don't want to, but that's what I do. So after that, I'd like to also point out the fact that I do my videos on OBS. So on OBS, I record the video and I put those videos into another file system, or another folder, but this is in my videos, okay, and I name that unedited videos. So in unedited videos, if you look here, I've got Gaming with Infamous, Strange Stories, and the Praetorian. Go into my Gaming with Infamous, I have 24/7 live TV watch, with Roger Hansen, and that's something I'm trying to do on Minds right now. Then I have my new games, and then I have my old games with all the unedited videos that I've done with OBS. This is my retro games, and these are my RPG games with Dungeons and Dragons, Palladium, and White Wolf. So I have those all set up and organized. Then I have my Strange Stories. Then I have Praetorian. Now, I do this with all of my videos now, and I keep them filed. I usually don't save the unedited ones. I used to, but I noticed that it does bog down the system, so I stopped doing that. Once I have them edited and everything, I just leave them alone. I can go into my unedited videos, go to gaming, and then new ones, and you can see that this is what it looks like. So I've got those are what needs to be edited. So after I do that, I go and I take those videos and I put them into my video editing on Blender, and once I'm done editing them, I put them in this file system, and this is my edited videos. And inside of my edited video, okay, so over on the left hand lower side, that's my blend files. The ones over on the lower right hand side are my those are my unedited files. Now up here on the top, that is my edited files that have already gone through Blender, and I've rendered them out and they're edited and good to go.
I'm ready to be posted. Okie dokie.
Right. So that's three different filing systems that I've got there, and the unedited videos comes off of this part right here that you're seeing where I'm waving my mouse, the OBS.
Mhm. Mhm.
This OBS is what makes these files. Now this is the Blender, and that's what produces those.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. What's the difference then? So you stream it on OBS, but then you edit it on Blender.
Right.
I got you.
And you can stream it and record it. So, like, I don't have to be streaming this. I could actually just record it and make a video by itself.
Is OBS something similar to LivePeer?
Um, OBS is a standalone uh, version of what LivePeer would be. LivePeer is kind of like yeah, it's kind of like a browser version of what of an encoder. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I can use LivePeer with my OBS so that I could put my live streams through LivePeer onto mines like I'm doing right now in the settings. But I can also stream directly to like YouTube from OBS, but those options aren't set up for mines. I'd have to go through LivePeer.
I only heard of LivePeer because of Minds, and then
Yeah.
like it gave me like an embedded. It's like use this RL or whatever to stream your live stream, and then I attempted to put the RL with the key. Like it's just a big mess because nothing worked. So I went
Yep.
live
Now,
on LivePeer.
do you have an OBS?
No, I gotta get it because you did, and so I'm gonna get it now just so
Uh,
I can do it for.
when you when you go to get it, then I can kind of guide you through that and help you set it up and everything. Okay?
And it'll make it to where I can do live on Minds.
Yeah.
Okie
Well.
dokie. Then I'm gonna do that like while I'm listening to you and go get my laptop and do it now. Just so
Okay.
that way later on, because I really want to go live on Minds tomorrow. Because like I went live on Bigo and I did my recording of my, and I was live on Twitter as well, live on X. But I was attempting to do the Minds, but I couldn't go live because it was giving me a link and it gave me an API key. I didn't know what to do with any of this stuff. And so I
Okay.
was live on LivePeer. So like my recording is on LivePeer, but it's like not on Minds.
I can show you how to do that. It's
Okay.
it's uh it's relatively easy, but when I show you, try your best to remember as much as you can. Okay?
Okay, you're not about to do it right now, are you?
No, I'm
No, because I want to
I'm
follow
finishing
along when you
this.
do it. Oh yeah, okay.
All right. I'll finish it up. I just wanted to fill you in what was being taken place. So videos, I have my captures. I have my gaming with Infamous intros and outros, okay, which goes at the beginning and at the end of every video. New games, older games, retro games, RPG games, then and so forth, like I did with my editing. But these are finished. Now, inside of each of these, like here, I have my ancient history. I have ancient Egypt, ancient Near East, background videos, which is the background videos that goes with those narrations, which is my audio, and I'll go over audio later on too, by the way. Then I have my Greek history. I've started my live stream videos, and then my Phoenician theology. Now, inside of here, you'll notice that I have a folder and it says already used video files. These are the ones that I want to keep and I want to store. So I have those in there, and eventually, whenever I get all of this done, I transfer these over to an external hard drive for later use. Now, I do this right here in order to make it to where my videos or my blend files don't become overbearing, where whenever I go to start it up, the blend file just doesn't crash. And it works out this way. You don't have to do it this way. It's just, that's the way I do it. And before I go further, this is something I wanted to say as well. I'm not doing these videos to make money off of them. I'm trying to keep it as casual as I can, because I'm not really wanting to make this out to be like some kind of a tutorial. I'm just showing you how I do things with Blender. There's a few people that I know who are trying to get into this and try to make their own videos and do a good job at it, and the more help they can get, the better they can. So I gave this up a while ago, but since then I've learned a little bit more. So I figured I'd come back in and I'd try to go through and show people how I use at least the video editing in Blender, so that it makes it easier for them too. And it is a lot easier once you figure out the configurations, learn some tricks, things like that. So this is basically my filing system. This is how I usually get my stuff done on here. And it does actually help out pretty good. So I wanted to go back through that and let people know that this is how I do it, and not too many people do it this way. A lot of them rely mostly on the blend files to save all their stuff, but you have to have these files, the raw video files, on the unedited stuff in the first place. And just so you know, when you start using the Blender and you start editing, it doesn't destroy any of the information on the original video. So be aware of that. I mean, it's completely there. And like I said, I used to keep those, but then finally I realized that it bogs down on memory, so I had to start getting rid of the old edited videos, but I still keep the edited videos in reserves for just in case. I wanted to mention that, and then there was also something else that I wanted to go over. Let me go ahead and get this set up to where I have it ready for you guys. Now, earlier I used Saints Row the Third as an example, and it was fine for that point, but it also had it was recorded badly. There was mess ups in the recording. The audio was off and stuff like that. So what I want to do is I want to find another video that I could put on there so that you guys can see what I was talking about in my earlier video about different frames per second and setups like that. So let me get back on my Blender. If I can find it. Trying to switch it around, and we can set that up real quick. But I can probably find it. It's just gonna take me a second. Oh, sorry about that. But when I find that, I will continue with it, and I'm going to use a. Here we go. All right. And I'm going to use a. A different video so that we can go through it and you can see what I was talking about there, because this is also something that's very important that you have to know, and it goes with the resolution, frames per second, stuff like that. So let me come on here, and up here on the top right hand side where it says resolution in format, up on the top corner it says format, and then it has resolution X, resolution Y. I have it set at 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels, and then the percentage is 100%.
Are you compressing
Now,
the size in order for
I
it to
wanted to
save?
go
What
back.
are you doing over there on the right?
That is your resolution. So when you get into Blender, you have to check that out and make sure that those settings are right where you want them. X is 1920 on mine, and then Y is 1080.
Okay, I know the 1080. I'm not unfamiliar with the 1920.
The full term is 1920 by 1080. Usually a lot of sites just say 1080 or 1080p, but that's what they're referring to. And just under that is 100%. And what that means is like when you render it out, do you want it rendered out at 100% according to those resolution, or 50%?
Would that make it like blocky and choppy if you did like 50%? Is that what makes it kind of look like it's, you know what I mean?
The pixels, it can go down to 75, 25 first of all. It doesn't have to just be 50%. But if you like go from 100% to 50%, it would be half of 1920 and then half of 1080 on the resolution. So you gotta estimate that in. I don't do that anymore because I know a lot of people have issues about it. But like when I had a weaker computer, I had no problems with it. And if I had to use a weaker computer now, I'd still do it at 50%. And it's only because the computer has to be able to handle the rendering of it. So if I'm the type of person, I just want to get content out and create videos.
Right, instead of taking forever. Like that one point in time, YouTube was taking 4 or 5 hours to upload a video for me, and I wasn't really changing anything with the resolution or stuff, so I didn't understand what was the issue.
Yeah, so that's basically what it is there. That's the settings for the video that you're about to edit. When you render it out, you want it at that, and then just below that you'll see it says 30 frames per second. And that's where you set your frame rate right there. So
I see. I was about to say where, but I see that arrow there. I thought that was the 100%, 50%. Is that's what you're saying? Why the percent? Yeah.
Where the blue
where
is.
Did you say?
See where
I
the
saw
blue
that.
is right there? That's the 100%. Now if you come down, can you see my mouse?
Now I can. I got confused because look at the other arrow next to the percent.
Yeah.
So I'm looking and it's still sitting there, and I was just like, wait, hold on. I thought that was the percent. Okay, go ahead. I see it now.
But where I'm pointing at right now, that's the 30 frames per second right here.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go ahead and continue with this. I didn't know.
How do you organize? Yeah. No, I was just gonna ask you, how do you determine? So, do you determine based off of picture frame, like your filing system? How do you group them?
That's basically what I just went over. Like I said, I'll put the example video that I'm using on here in the chat, and all you gotta do is hit play, and
And it'll
you'll
be the same thing.
yeah
I
you'll
thought that the percentages or the picture per frame were different, was different per file, and so you
some
changed
of
it.
them now
Yeah.
like I've got them on here at 30 frames per second set for that. Now, I believe next I'm going to take a video that's not 30 frames per second and show you what it looks like when you put it on here. I believe that's what I'm doing next in the video, so don't don't quote me on that, but
No, it's okay. I got
I'm
you.
thinking that's what I was doing, and just I was getting ready to put a video in there and show you what happens when I drop it or raise it from 30% to 60. But on this one, the new blenders are the new
Wait.
blender.
Raising the percent or raising the pics per minute? The pics.
The frames
Yeah.
per second.
Yeah.
If I change this from 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second,
It goes faster, right?
well, watch the strips. Now
Oh,
I think Blender automatically fixed that. I'm not sure, but I believe in this video they actually fixed it. But at one time they didn't do it, and like the audio would be smaller than the video, or the video would be smaller than the audio, one or the other. So let me see real quick before I say anything. Go over that and point something out too, okay? When I said earlier that if you want better resolution, put it at 100, that doesn't always apply, because if you have a computer that's not very strong, if you put it on 50%, it will actually make it run easier on your computer. Now, Blender has changed since 2.8. I'll put it to that way. At 2.8, it was pretty manageable with a quad-core computer, which is what I had at the time, but they upgraded stuff after 2.8, which made it to where I couldn't get on here and do even a halfway decent job in editing videos, even with a quad core computer. So I had to learn how to adjust for a little while, and how I did it is I set the percentage down to 50%, and I left it at that, and it did do my videos the way I needed them. So if you have a weaker computer, then I suggest you can do that. Now if you have a stronger one that has maybe 8 cores, an 8-core CPU with a GPU, set it at 100% and keep your quality and everything down here at high quality, like I've got it right there. Nothing wrong with all that. Up here, if you want to use H.264, it's perfectly fine. I used MPEG-4 the last time on the video, and like I said, if you want to use H.264, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a pretty good system, really. I've found no difference between the two, other than the fact that OBS tries to discourage people from using it, and I believe the reason why they're doing that is because they're trying to endorse MKV video files as well as AVI, because they're an open source. But I've found no issues whatsoever when it comes to using MP4s. And if you've used OBS, you know what I'm talking about. They give you that little line that warns you. So now I've got this set at 30 frames per second, okay? And I am going to go in and pull a video that I know the audio works good at. And before I do that though, I want to set this to 60 frames per second so that you guys can see what I was showing you the last time. So up here in frame rate, I went and I clicked on it, and in the down drop options or drop options, I went from 30, which is right here, to 60. Over here at the bottom where the sequencer is, you'll see view, select marker, add strip and image. I'm going to click on add, and then I'm going to add movie. Then this selection is going to come up. I'm going to click
Does
on
the
gaming
original
with
video not
Infamous.
have audio of you explaining what's happening?
No, it does. It's just you can't hear it. Like
Oh.
I'm listening to it right now. That's what I was saying. I mean, you're on regular Minds,
So because it's not Mine's Plus, so that's why I can only see it, and I'm looking
yeah.
at it on Jitsi. That's what you were referring to. I was thinking that you meant the stream itself, because once you post the stream, you keep saying I'll be able to press play and go in and look at it, but I'm
No,
not going.
no. That's in chat, and I'll be posting the video.
Oh, for YouTube. I looked at a
Yeah.
lot of your YouTube videos last night before I did my show. Yeah, I went and liked a lot of them. I was like, oh yeah, I should have been doing this. And I have a few
Yeah.
YouTube accounts, so I did that.
The one that I have on there, I'll post it in the chat, and you can listen to it and watch it, and you can go along with it if you want to. So.
Okay, cool.
But that's the only downfall. You can't hear nothing. You know what I mean?
And I'm following the mouse, not mice, but it's like mice to me because there's the one at the top, then there's yours on the bottom. I'm like, well, that one's not moving, and then I'm watching the one up top do stuff. I'm like, oh, because it's the recording, and so we're watching the recording in order for you to be able to explain what you're doing on the recording, so they hear the explanation.
Well, I'm starting to debate on if I even if this was just straight up live, it'd be fine, but my big mistake was going through and making the videos ahead of time and still using Jitsi with it, you know what I'm saying? Because freaking people on Jitsi can't even hear this stuff, so it gets annoying to them. And then if you don't have Minds Plus, you can't hear the audio because you can't watch the mainstream, so
Right. Put it
But,
on YouTube too, so
yeah, that's what my plan is. I'm gonna do it on YouTube and Minds. That way, if you can't watch it here, you can watch it there. So.
Okay. But I watched a few of your streams last night.
Alright, I'm gonna start this up real quick.
Okay.
And I believe it's getting ready to drop a video that, like I was talking about. I just went in and added a video. Go to well, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna come over here to videos so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Down here on system, go down to videos, go to unedited videos, gaming with Infamous, new game, and I am going to add in Dying Light Part 7. So here it is. We got Dying Light Part 7 right there. So, and I still have to edit this, but this is what I wanted to show you. I videotaped it in, yeah, see, and the new Blender 3.5 must have taken care of that, because in the old version, the blue strip would be longer than the green strip, which means they would be out of sync at 60 frames per second, because that video was
30, right?
Yeah, it was 30 on OBS. So when I dropped that in there, automatically that blue strip should have been longer than the green one. But I believe the new 3.5 has that fixed.
Formatting. Cool.
So back when I had to stop using Blender for a while, what happened was my computer crashed and it went bye-bye, So I basically couldn't use Blender for the longest time, and last version I used was 2.9. Now when I got back on here, it was all the way up to 3.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was your stuff still available once you were able to get it back again, or do you lose everything from the crash?
You don't lose anything. It's all on your computer has nothing to do with the internet whatsoever.
So if you're using their filing system, it still has no effect. Like I have files and stuff saved on my computer, but I would think if my computer crashed, then that would cause, like, even when I
Oh
did a
yeah,
reset one
you're talking
time.
about, yeah, when but that was because of the computer, not because of Blender.
Not because of Blender, right?
You know, I mean,
But so like,
yeah,
does Blender have a cloud with all your stuff? I guess I'm
no,
more so.
all
Oh,
my old stuff, I made sure that everything I did was recorded and uh, then put on my YouTube. Like I've got working with audio and video on YouTube.
mm-hmm.
If you there's thousands and thousands of video footages that I have on there. I mean, I don't even know how much is on there now because of all the stuff I've done on there.
How long have you been doing this? Like, so
I,
where you doing the tutorials anyway?
oh god. Well, I stopped doing the tutorial stuff because people just don't get involved with this shit. And I'm doing this right now is because I have friends that are trying to edit their videos better, and
Yeah.
I figured I'd make some short videos of how to work with this stuff, and like you can go in and you can set up masks, and a mask is yeah, a mask is where you can put a green screen behind you. You know what I mean? And
Oh.
then you can take and set yourself up within that scene to where it looks like you're sitting in front of a desk or something like that.
I've seen people doing that with AI, and they're able to make it look like they're at the beach.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's kind of dangerous. But yeah, I mean, cloud.
You can do that on here
Are you serious? On OBS or on Blender?
on Blender.
Nice.
But before I get to that, I want to do all this and get it straightened out and ready to go.
Oh, keep it organized. I understand.
Yeah, start from the scratch and work up. So let me finish this off real quick.
Okay, I'm going back on mute until I have another question.
Okay. In 60 frames. No, 30 frames, I'm sorry. But I'm going to put this back up here on the frame rate at 30. And then I'm like, well, it's actually working. The newer one does this sometimes. It doesn't mess up like that. But before I say that, I want to test the audio to make sure that it's all matching up. So let's go in and check the audio out. Sure at that point if it's working or not. So sometimes it actually works out, sometimes it doesn't. I gotta find another one where it'll actually show what I'm talking about. So go in here, go to add, click on add, hit movies, go to videos, and hit unedited. I'll go to strange videos, add that one. Scroll with my mouse. Well, that's take my middle mouse button and scroll in until it comes into view. Stretch it out by hitting that button right here at the bottom of the scroller. Then I want to switch it over from 30 to 60 so that you guys can see this. Oh, it's actually working. That's weird. Well, anyhow, before what would happen is it would be off and I would have to adjust the video with the audio, and then after that I'd come up here to add, go down the effects strip, select speed control on the options here, and the green strip would appear above this. The blue one is the video, the green one down below is the audio, and this is your speed strip. And that would adjust the speed of the video to where it matches up with the audio, which it doesn't really have any audio on that one, but you kind of see what I'm talking about right there. So basically this has been more or less a review of everything that I've gone over. I'm not going to end it there either. I'm going to go ahead and go over some stuff too that I was talking about in the actual editing. Now I'm going to add a movie, so I come up here to the top of the sequencer, next to view, select marker and add. I select add movie. Now on the right hand side where it says system, I can go in here and I can pick through the filing system in the document section, downloads, music, pictures, videos, and so forth. Or I can pick them here by selecting this up arrow or the back arrow or the side arrow, or I can create a new directory. I can also refresh the file list.
What were you about to say?
Instead of doing this, now right here, that's a problem that I have to work out with Blender. For some reason, it didn't pop up the option that I wanted. Like when I went in there and I hit add right here.
Yeah.
It has a pop-up option where you can go into your filing system and you can choose what file you want to put down here in the bottom half for your video. Well, when you hit that, that option pops up, but for some reason it doesn't show up in the video. So that could be because I have to give permissions to show like third-party pop-ups. That could be in either OBS or in Blender. I have to check and find out. But
so if you were screen recording, would it have perhaps worked? Because, or is that you know what I mean?
I've had that issue in games too before, like a long time ago when I was doing Minecraft, and you went in to open up the trunks, the entire screen would go black because you didn't give, or your computer didn't get the permission to allow you to see
share copyrighted. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it would black it. It's been a while, but I know what that's from, and like I said, it's either in Blender or on the OBS. I just have to figure out which one it is. So I'm going to come over here to videos, and I'm going to select basically all I'm doing is selecting a video. I'm just running my mouth too long. So edited videos, or no, unedited, and I will come to Gaming with Infamous. I will come in here and I will pick Saints Row again, but instead of Saints Row the Third, I will pick Saints Row 2. I will get the first video, put it on here, scroll out with my middle mouse wheel and do that until I see as much of the video as I possibly can. If that doesn't work, I come down here to this little tab at the bottom where that button is. I hold down on my left button and I move right with it, and it will adjust until I see it. Now both of these files are highlighted, so with them both highlighted, I don't touch anything except for the G button. I make sure that the letters on the right at the beginning of the strip is at 1 or are matching, and then the ones on the left, I want to make sure that they are at 1 and they're both saying 1. That means that the video and the audio are in sync. After that, I click on the left button again. I scroll back in. I take this scroller at the bottom and I move it to the beginning. I have this set for 15 minutes. Now, the video itself is at 30 frames right here, so I don't know if this would actually do what I was wanting it to do. Let me find out real quick. Alright, now if I switch this around to 60 frames, let's see what happens. Still matching up. That's pretty good. It started doing that whenever they came with the new versions, so that is a pretty good thing. But I'm going to go ahead and set this back at 30 the way it was, because that's the original resolution it was in. And the reason why I wanted to show it to you is because in the older versions that was an issue that you had to use, and you had to use your effect strips, come up here to speed control and add it to it to where it would sync the audio and video together. Now, the reason why I was trying to do all that in the first place was right there when I was showing you the ad. I went to that effect strip.
Yes.
That is how you adjust your audio and video. If you have a video that got out of sync and needs to be adjusted, you match them up with the blue and the green strips first. Make sure that they're matched up. Then you go into add, and you go down to the drop down option that I was just doing right there, and you select speed strip or speed strip, and that's that third one that pops up on top, and it'll adjust your audio and your video to where they're in sync with one another. And that's what I was basically trying to get at.
Can you show where you go to get it to sync it?
I think I'll show it here in a second. I just wanted to explain that to you. But apparently that's been modified and fixed, which is good. Now, I'll go through the basics with you. This is, I call it a cursor. I don't know the proper name for it. The sequence slide, maybe. Yeah, it could be the sequence slide. No, it's not. This down here is what I was talking about. But right here, this is my little cursor. It goes all the way through. Now if I want to adjust this to where it fits up perfectly with the edges of the scene, I come here, I click on the blue strip, which is now this this doesn't do the sequencer anymore. We just passed it up. But what I'm about to show you is how to scale your videos. You see how that video right there has the black around it?
The frame, yeah.
Now I want to bring that out to the edges right there, and I'm getting ready to show you how to do it going both up and down and left and right.
Okay.
So that's kind of another thing that you can do on Blender that's pretty cool. Just the video, and then over to the right in the transform
so you go down to
section,
that bottom corner
right hand
over there,
side under the strip tab. Always make sure that this is on the strip tab, the top one, to the far left there, you got tabs. One says strip, one says tool, one says modifier, and one says proxy. Make sure it's on the strip one. Go down to transform, which is the second
That's what it
option.
says, transform, right?
Right. Down here where it says scale X and then Y underneath it, you select the X section, and if you go
Is there a standard
to
setting
the
for
right
this type of
on this
stuff, or is it different per video?
it's standard for every video you do. If you want to adjust any of them, like where you want them to all fill in the screen instead of having the black on the sides,
Yeah.
you can come in here and adjust it.
And it could be a standard setting for all of them. It's not going to be different for different videos. I got it.
Well, it's not going to automatically do it for every video you put on there. So you will have to adjust each of them as they come in. You know what I'm saying?
Manually, but it'll be the same setting per the videos for what you're looking for as far as being able to have it full screen.
Yeah.
I got you.
Basic. You will have to adjust though.
Yeah, manually. I got it.
Button, you can bring the video out. If you go left, it brings it in. Now on the Y section, if you go to the right, it brings it up and down. If you go to the left, it goes inwards, up and down. Now up and down, it'll go outwards. If you go on the right hand side, that's the way I should have really said it. Now what I want to do is I want to match this up. Make sure that the edge right there shows those little gritty parts. Now on the top and bottom, the way this is all set up, it doesn't look, or it doesn't really it's not too reliable. So what I'll do is I will come to this scene right here and I'll look at it, and that is actually a better example. So let me see how much of this actually needs to be edited. So I turn around and use the Y to the right and left to adjust it to the best ability that I can. Then I go up here to the X and I use the left and the right, and I adjust it there too. And that is how you adjust your video. Now, if I don't want all of that black on the top and bottom to be there, I can just zoom it in to get rid of it, or I could just leave it the way it is and let it look like this. The cutscenes, basically, where it shows the storyline. If you notice, there's that little black right there. So what I do is I come here to the Y, or no, to the X actually. No, it is the Y. And I tap it once, and that'll be gone when I do the render. And it'll make the video smoother. So I've got that covered. Now, in order for me to highlight both of these, I can do one of two things. I can do like I've been showing you. I could hold down on the right click button or the left click button, and I can drag the mouse down, creating that little square, or square like ring, and I can put it over the top of both of them and can highlight it like that. But I'm going to click on here to where they all go unhighlighted, and I can show you another way. Now I can do it another way. I can go ahead and hit A, which is select all, and it can do that. Now that's only if those are the only 2 strips on there though. So I only do that if there's only those 2 strips. Now I have both the audio and the video selected, and what I want to do is I want to cut that. So in order to cut that video, I select the K button and I click on it. Now since the mouse was on the right hand side, everything to the right of the cursor, the blue cursor right here, is highlighted. Everything to the left is
What are you
not
attempting to do
highlighted.
now?
Right now I'm showing everybody how to cut. Now I went in here and I made sure that both those strips are highlighted, and then if you notice the mouse is on the right hand side. After I highlight both of these, I make sure that mouse is on the right side of that blue thing, and I go to my keyboard and I hit K, and when I hit K it cuts both those strips.
I remember you saying that last time.
Okay, now if you notice, after I hit the K, everything on the right hand side was still highlighted, but everything on the left side wasn't. And that was because I left that mouse on the right side of this blue thing right here.
So it knows what you're keeping and what you're cutting.
Yeah, well, what you want to focus on. Because like later on, if I want to come over here and I want to get rid of like this much, I'll bring this over here and I'll leave my cursor over here and I'll hit K.
Ah.
And that little area right here will stay highlighted, and all I have to do is hit X and it's deleted. Does that make sense?
It does. So the stuff on the left side is the stuff that you keep, and the stuff that stays, and then the stuff on the right is the stuff that you're going to actively edit.
Yeah. So.
And you just drag the marker where you would like it to be, where you're going to focus your editing on, and then you just change sides of the mouse based off of where it's at that you'd like to edit. I get that part now.
Generally, I let it play, or I use my my directional buttons on the keyboard. The left and right are good for going back and forth. So, and then you use your X and you use your K K for cut, and then X for delete. A is highlight all for the 2 strips. I use that when I don't have anything but these 2 strips, but I have a lot of occasions where I've got more than just these 2 strips, so I have to go in and manually highlight them.
What would cause you to have more than 2? Because I thought that's just sound and video.
Well, I usually freaking do fail videos too, so like whenever I make mistakes in the game, I'll take these 2 strips after I cut them, instead of deleting them, I'll put them up here. And I edit them too to where they start out clean, and I'll connect them to the next fill, and as well as having a good video here to go through, I'll have my fail video in the making right up above. So I don't know if you're familiar with fail videos. They're basically failures and stuff, mistakes.
Oh, that's what you're saying, felt. At first I thought you were saying felt, like the texture, like the textile felt, and that's why I'm like felt, and then I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. But you're saying failed videos, so the things that you
Yeah.
So now I'm familiar.
But I generally have a extra strip running up here for all my fail videos in my games. So let me go ahead and start this up and get through it. Still got like a half an hour.
Then I was going to ask you what the show is that you said, but they'll do. Because you said you have a show on. You guys did something you're doing on Thursday. Is something different? That's on Tech.
Yeah, Tech Talk. Instead of calling today, working with audio and video, I'm going to start calling it Tech Talk. It'll still have the working with audio and video in it, but it'll generalize the topic to where we can talk about more than just working with audio and video.
Right, you're gonna expand it. But and are you changing the days for it permanently, or is that for
No,
just this week? Okay.
no. I'm going to be doing the one with Mark and all them on a separate time, but that's going to be just the recording and everything and getting the actual round table going.
And then you stream it at your normal time, like you did with the
Yeah,
interview yesterday. I
right.
got it.
It'll be streamed at its regular time. It's just getting them together to do it is what needs to be the trick to it. So, but let me get this done.
Okay.
Anything that I've made mistakes on. So I hit Control Z to undo that cut. I move the mouse over to the left side. I hit K, and as you see, the highlight is on the left side now instead of the right. So that's the way you can do your cutting. I'll say I want to take and I want to move both of these out of the scene. What I do after that is I keep both of those selected, and I hit the G button. Now I don't want to put it in any specific place, so I don't hit X and I don't hit Y to keep them straight. Since they're both selected and they're both perfectly in sync, I can just move my mouse wherever I want to put it and it will go there. Now if I don't want to do that, all I got to do is right click and it will go back to where it was. Well, almost back to where it was. Now if I want to bring that down to the first row with the rest of the strip, I hit G and I hit Y, and now you see there's a yellow line over by the 1, and that will make sure that it goes just up and down without moving to the left or to the right. Bring it down and it fits right in there perfectly. Now to make sure there's no gaps, I can hold down on the left directional arrow and it will go backwards, and as you can see there is no gaps. Whenever you see the white that's around the video up on top on the preview, that means that the cursor is above the highlighted area that you've got selected. When it's not on the highlighted, that will disappear. So you don't see any empty space there, so you can know that it's perfectly selected. Alright, so I've showed you that. Now I'm wanting to select this area right here by holding down on the left click button and highlighting both the audio and video, and I'm going to show you something that I do, and you can use this with clipping or without clipping. Not clipping, but snapping. Snapping is up here, which is a very useful tool, but sometimes you do have to turn it off and on, so just be aware of that. But here's a trick that I've done, and really I don't have to do it, but I still do it as a habit. I hit G with it selected, and then I hit X and I drag it over the top of the other clip, and it will automatically snap at the beginning, and it always makes sure that it goes right back to the thing. So I can show you an example. I'm going to turn the snapping off, and I can hit G, then the X, and then move my mouse over the top until that entire strip turns red. Let it go, and you'll see what I'm saying. That's with or without snapping on. No gaps. So I believe I've covered everything over again, and to kind of go over some of the stuff that I was doing before. and later on I will come back with another video to go even further with it. But this is basically what I've done so far, and I'm reviewing it. I hope it's helpful to you guys, and if you do like it, and it's helping you, then let me know, and I'd love to hear if it's helping you or not. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a question in the comment section, and I can get back to you. Okay, so I'm going to stop it there. I have another 30 minutes, but I'm pretty sure we've gotten quite a bit of that covered.
You're gonna post it?
Yeah, I am gonna post the preview thing, the video that I'm using on here. I'm gonna post that inside of my Live with Roger Hanson chat.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've already got it on YouTube, so all I gotta do is share it. It was scheduled to come out today, so it's good to go. It should be by now.
Oh, so you already have these already predestined.
See, when I first started doing this video series, I didn't think anybody was going to come in, you know what I mean? I knew it would be a cool idea if somebody was, so I set these up to kind of get them started on the whole series.
Right.
Now I've got another one after this, and from that point on, I'm just going to go in and do it live. But I wanted to at least get ahead of myself on doing the basics right here, because this is just showing you how to do the basics when it comes to Blender. I can go farther with it, like I was talking about the masks earlier.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I can also show you how to zoom in on a video to a specific area. Things like that.
With Blender?
Yeah.
That's neat.
If I wanted this to show just Saints Row and make it zoom in until that's all you see, then I can do that with Blender off of what's right there on the screen.
So you got another video doing that, or you're gonna have to
No,
make?
I'm just using it as an example.
Oh, you should though.
I could, but I could do it in a later.
And a different one, not this one. Yeah, I got you.
But yeah.
You're done with it for now, though?
Yeah, for now I am, because we're already at an hour and 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I just realized it is. It's 7:16. Okie dokie.
But yeah, I'll come back and I'll finish at this point. Right now I'm at the 37 minute. I've got 30 minutes and 54 seconds of this video to go, so I could just go ahead and share this one and then freaking go on to the next video. That way we can get through it, and then if anybody wants to go over it, I could go over this again next week at the last part of it,
Yeah, especially you get some questions on YouTube and stuff for me.
Okay. But like I said, it is available on YouTube, so if you want to check that out. And the fourth one's on there too.
I'm going to download Blender within the next few minutes. I folded all the clothes, so I'm going to put them in the drawers and stuff. And then after that, I'm going to be able to get to my stuff, because I got to do everything for everyone else before I can even think about considering myself as an option. So once I'm done that, then I'm going to go ahead and sit down and see what I can do.
Now, when you do that, just make sure that you're downloading it according to your system, okay?
Okay, I have a Mac. Does it work on Mac?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
But make sure you do it according to the Mac system, alright?
Yes.
And then later on, I can go through and show you stuff with the OBS too.
Yeah, I'm going to message you when I'm ready. That way I can be not distracted and not waste your time. Can be partially prepared or partially attentive.
It's not wasting my time. It's not wasting my time, bub. I can help you out anytime you need it, okay?
Yes, thank you.
No problem.
Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do we talk about tomorrow?
Tomorrow's the storytelling.
Oh, nice. You're going to finish your story?
I'll get going. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
can you read some more to me? Oh, please.
All
Can you read some more
right.
about the woman that are like sex crazed and she drinks blood and like, yeah, I want more. Well, she doesn't drink blood, but she's blood crazed and she kills people for, yeah, I want more.
All right.
Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow. And then well, actually, I'm going to message you tonight, but thank you.
All right.
Have a good night. Be safe.
You too. All right. I am going to end this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave questions in the comment section. And thank you for watching. Bye.